According to the Global Healthcare Access and Quality Index report, Nigeria ranks 140 out of 195 countries in healthcare delivery. The state of healthcare delivery in the country is appalling, and there's been too much national lamentation over the situation for too long. My guest on this week's episode of the program talks about the nation's healthcare sector. Hello there, welcome to Dateline Abuja. I'm Gloria Umezuke. The Nigerian healthcare delivery system is a source of concern to all and sundry because of the needless deaths of compatriots and the capital flight that the health sector has come to represent in our time. While the wealthy routinely fly out of the country to seek medical expertise, the middle class struggle to access the few private healthcare centers in the country, and the poor are left at the mercy of poorly managed healthcare centers. I had a conversation with the Minister of Health on the nation's healthcare delivery system. But first, what are the stories that made headlines within the week in the nation's capital?
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation has asked that people with disabilities be given equal opportunity to realize their potentials and contribute their quota towards national development. He was speaking at an event to mark this year's International Disability Day.
Government has adopted an affirmative action in its recruitment policy to ensure that at least 5% of declared vacancies are reserved for persons with disabilities.
Workers at the National Assembly, under the auspices of the Parliamentary Support Association of Nigeria, earlier in the week crippled activities at the Federal Parliament. The union is protesting the non-implementation of a new consolidated salary structure, delayed promotions and unpaid allowances. However, the chairman of the National Assembly and Senate President promised to meet the management and address their grievances.
As leadership of the Senate, we do not have to know the possibility of what is possible to be paid now. If it is, I can commit. What I'm committing to you is to send for the CNA management that we must find money. We must find money immediately to ensure the implementation of
The industrial action by the Academic Staff Union of Universities will continue after the latest meeting with officials of the Ministry of Education ended without any agreement. This is coming a week after both parties failed to reach an agreement at the meeting held on Monday, November 26, 2018.
We have started to discuss. Our discussions are continuing, and for now, we are here to reach any concrete decision. So as soon as we have more information, we will make available to the press. Thank you.
When are you reconvening?
Very soon.
Vice President Professor ASUU-FG has commenced the door-to-door campaign at the Nyanya and Karu suburbs in the Federal Capital Territory for the re-election bid of President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019 general election. He addressed the crowd who thronged out to receive him in the community.
For honest and decent and hardworking Nigerians, the President Muhammadu Buhari, is a person who has devoted his life to ensuring that the life of the common man, the life of the average person, is made better. Sometimes it's not easy to do so. We are going to see a better Nigeria. But that better Nigeria can only come if the government is honest, if the government is not stealing our money.
Bring back the loot.
The acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Mr. Ibrahim Magu, has announced the preparedness of the commission to comply with the verdict of an Abuja High Court ordering the commission to arrest and produce former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Mrs. DIEZANI Alison Madueke, before the court. Speaking during an interactive session with journalists, Mr. Magu vowed to extradite Mrs. Alison Madueke from the United Kingdom.
Of course, since we say we want her and she's not here, something is wrong somewhere. I think you need to put pressure on the other side to repatriate her and to bring back the loot. More than 80% of the loot recovery outside this country are still hanging. Ask them, why is it hanging? Why is it so difficult to repatriate back this loot when you have established that this money came from Nigeria and you know that this person does not own this money? I mean, there is no justification. It's not small money. We have over $300 million hanging in Jersey Island in UK.
The federal government is coming up with strategies that will be deployed to address the challenge of sexual and gender-based violence in the country. Vice President Professor OSINBAJO said this at the opening of a conference on gender-based violence.
I want you to deliberate and especially to look at the role of men and boys in the war against gender-based violence, the role of community and religious leaders as influencers of norms and practices, the role of citizens as effective mediators and the voice of victims in determining interventions, the need for alliances, how to strengthen existing collaboration, how to strengthen existing institutions, and for additional research that will provide us with the evidence that we need for more informed decisions on sexual and gender-based violence at all levels.
President Muhammadu Buhari has assured that his government will continue to promote merit for the progress and development of the country. He said this at the investiture and conferment ceremony of the 2018 Nigerian National Order of Merit Award on Professor Olu-Obafemi.
We will continue to promote excellence and merit in our drive to enhance rapid development and national unity. In this regard, those who are honored will be remembered and will serve as motivation and encouragement to future generations of Nigerians.
The African Development Bank is investing a total of $258 million on an initiative to support the rebuilding of the Northeast. The fund will be invested in meeting the needs of the vulnerable, especially women and youths who are affected by the insurgency.
There's no limit to what we can achieve when we work together, when we empower our young people, and do not allow what is to distract us from envisioning what could be. And I believe that this is what the IBSIP is about, an investment in a future that is much greater, much more prosperous, and much more peaceful than the present. Someday, very soon, I'm confident that we'll be able to look back at this moment, at all of what we're doing today, as a turning point in the trajectory of the Northeast Nigeria.
The Federal Executive Council has approved the 2019 budget estimates after deliberations at a special meeting. Presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari, the meeting did not disclose how much was budgeted or when it will be presented to the National Assembly.
The 2019 executive budget proposals were approved by the Federal Executive Council. We are hoping as soon as possible we will be in touch with the National Assembly because you know that they have to agree to the dates that they would receive the budget.
President Muhammadu Buhari has transmitted a letter to the National Assembly notifying Parliament that he is declining assent to the 2018 Electoral Act Amendment Bill. This is the fourth time President Buhari is refusing assent to the 2018 Electoral Bill.
His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari has taken a decision on the Electoral Amendment Bill 2018 in accordance with his powers under the 1999 Constitution and has communicated that decision to the Senate and House of Representatives in accordance with the law.